I would, if you want to, you can find people that will eat those coons.
Oh, yeah.
Take a little work.
Coon Hunting University is brought to you by Superior Light Company. Use coupon code CHU Podcast at checkout at nighthunters.com. If you're in the market for a new light, do not overlook Superior. They make the best light in the business. The Hellcat Max Flat Dark Earth Edition is awesome. Comes standard with the new and improved high-intensity green laser. Comes standard with the newest design and dual walking light modules, offering the brightest walking lights currently available on the market, bar none. And it comes with your choice of red or true amber or double red color module technology. The Hellcat Max new module design reduces weight without sacrificing burn time or brightness, resulting in an overall weight of just 20 to 24 ounces, depending on your cap selection. The Hellcat Max offers the newest battery technology, which allows for 5 hours of continuous main beam burn time on the highest setting and over 10 hours of highest auxiliary light settings. All controls can be found on one easy 9-position click switch, and all Superior lights come with a 2-year warranty, are made right here in the USA. So check out Superior Lights. Use coupon code CHU Podcast at checkout at nighthunters.com. Thank you to Mr. Jamie, Mr. Sam at Superior Lights for supporting Coon Hunting University Podcast and making this podcast possible. So I ask all the listeners, if you could, please go over there and support Superior Lights. Use the exclusive discount code that is only available to Coon Hunting University Podcast listeners, CHU Podcast. Superior, step up to the max. Now, back to the show.
Me and Chance sitting here, we don't have a problem finding somewhere to hunt, whether we got to go up to a deer hunt or not. So this podcast really isn't about us, because we got plenty of land to hunt that might not be the best of land, but that deer lease it's going to be the same property,
Right.
This is more for the guys around maybe your area where there's not as much public land. We have plenty of access, plenty of hunt. Well, let's be honest, we're fortunate. But another thing, when you're talking about it, is we all have common ground as outdoorsmen.
Yeah.
But houndsmen, we're kind of the gatekeepers. We're who they're going to go after first. We're the smallest
Especially if your
group.
dog runs.
Yeah. So I guess it's maybe not as much about us going hunting on your property as it is about creating a coalition. Maybe that's more of what I'm trying to do here is bridge that gap, because I guess coon hunters kind of feel left out of the whole outdoorsman world. There's not Mossy Oak isn't selling coon hunting camouflage. You know what I mean? It's not mainstream, and it probably is dying. It's not dying in the sense of it's growing in one sense and it's dying in another. It's kind of weird.
I don't think it's dying in the South.
Well, it's bigger up north, really.
It has, but I think some people around the South keep it.
Well, I mean,
just a few people that do have coon dogs.
Well, I don't think that it's.
It'll never die. I can tell you that right now.
Unless they kill it.
Well, that's
you know what I mean.
And
that's
and
we're
kinda
the
like
gatekeepers
dogs,
to
like
that.
Deer dogs.
Yeah, we're the
Right.
gatekeepers to that because we're who they're going to go after first. And it's just like gun rights. They start chipping away at them, chipping away. All right, we're just going to take this. We're going to take your bump stock. Oh, well, we want to take that. You can't have a 90-degree grip on an AR pistol. We're just going to take that from you. Well, we're just going to take that whole. That's what they'll start doing. That's what people need to realize, that houndsmen are the gatekeepers to that because we're the ones that they're going to come after first. We're the smallest group. We're easy. People don't support, hunting support in the United States is actually at an all-time high right now. I've read a statistic the other day that it was like 80% of people in this supported hunting, which is crazy. It blew my mind when I read that. But if you think about it, Democrats hunt, Republicans hunt. It's not.
Right.
But when it comes to hunting with dogs, man, it dropped about 47% of those same people support it.
Perspective.
So we're the ones that are going to come out first.
All about perspective.
It is. And
they assume.
Yeah. But
that's just like when they're eating them Wagyu beef comes from a cow.
Yeah, it's all from cow. Yeah.
When you're sitting there, when you're eating that filet mignon, don't kill the cows, huh?
But and
I don't understand, but I understand what you're saying. But man, never mind.
And and I don't think that I think it's more of a bridge that gap. From your perspective, how do we make coon hunting more mainstream? What do we need to do to make it more mainstream on the outside looking in?
I can tell you one thing from my perspective. I think the people that are hardcore coon hunters and want to keep it alive and want to make it more stream, I think they need to use the tools that are available that the deer hunting world and the turkey hunting world use, which is social media, YouTube, Facebook, anything you can use. Every time you go coon hunting, have a video camera with you. Show all the good things about it. Show how much fun it is. Show people high-fiving when they're dog trees, or just every part of it that makes it the great sport that it is.
Because it is a great sport.
Right. And people don't know what it is because it's not on the Outdoor Channel every night.
No.
It's not all over YouTube and Facebook. And I think there's a lot of...
I think YouTube is success for it.
Yeah.
Because TV is dying out.
Yeah, YouTube is definitely the way to go to push something.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if y'all have seen it. A lot of these bigger comp hunts now are live streamed on Facebook.
Yeah, I just got into that.
Yeah, Backwoods Heritage and stuff like PKC World. UKC does their own thing on YouTube. So they're getting with the game. It's getting with the game. It's
right.
Getting more publicity, getting more out there for people. But I do think coon hunting, to a certain degree, and this is across the board, holds a special place in everybody's heart, because
it does.
And I don't know why it is. I think you could probably say where the red fern grows are attributed to that greatly,
Yeah.
But I had a friend tell me one time, he said, everybody has a soft spot for a coon hunter for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why it is, but it's, that's on our side.
Well, to Chance's point, what did you bring up, Dustin? You started. When you start talking about coon hunting, you almost talk about it in a romantic way. You almost...
I wouldn't go that far.
But there's different meaning. There's different meanings for romanticize about something. You did.
I don't know as much as y'all know, but I know the time that I had a blast.
Yeah.
See?
And I met a guy.
It was limited, though.
Yeah.
It was limited.
Yeah. And I met a guy last night at the gas station. I was talking on the phone. See, I'm about to go cut these dogs loose. That dude said, well, what you cutting loose? So I'm cutting coon dog loose. He said, man, I used to coon hunt so much back in the day. He said, man, I miss it. And it's just, I think everybody used to, it seems like everybody in the South, especially in the country. I used to coon hunt back in the day. Whether it was coon hunting or not, they were riding around drinking beer, turning dog loose. On
the back road.
Yeah. But then to your point, even you, Ricky, you've been out the game for a little bit, so it's probably changed so much. Did y'all even have GPS tracking systems?
No.
Did you
go to the dogs, son?
So you didn't have, GPS tracking systems that allow you to keep that dog where you want it. People don't realize how technologically advanced coon hunting is now. If we're going to be able to evolve, we're going to have someone that can step up to do that.
Well, what you got to think about too is
you need somebody to speak out.
The younger generation that's taking this over, how many of those are willing to step up to do it?
Not many.
That's the issue. It's not that they don't want to. It's not that they don't want to. But this older generation, their mindset ain't on Facebook. It ain't on, Twitter. It ain't on any of this stuff. It's about, advertising in a magazine. That's it. That's all we got to do.
One of the highest.
You don't hardly have newspapers no more.
Dude, no. You got newspapers? I didn't even know we had newspapers no more.
Yeah. We don't hardly. We still do, but we don't at the same time down here.
Yeah. Ricky, did you
get? It's kind of like you got to get on a forum or a page to figure out, what somebody's doing.
You do.
If somebody that's coon hunting, or I feel like to me, I haven't heard about coon hunting since I talked to Ricky. And like I said, that's been 25 years ago, And until he said he talked to you, or, me and you talked before, but we never hear about coon hunters. Now, do I know some? Yeah. But they never put their stuff on social media. They might put their dog treeing, but they don't show how many coons they kill,
Well, and I'll tell you that that's a double-edged sword. Social media is too, because right now, like you said,
it is.
Coon hunters are out of sight, out of mind, right?
Right.
So if we remain that way, nobody can attack you. But your sport's never going to grow.
No, I'm with you on that.
Right. So it is almost a double-edged sword, and if it's used in the correct manner, if you can't put a dog over fighting a coon on your Facebook page, people don't like it.
Oh no, that's kind of why we stay away from Facebook most of the time with our podcast. If I put something on Facebook, it's limited.
Yeah, I agree. I know what you're saying. I mean, I put a lot of stuff on Facebook for the page. I don't put anything on my personal page.
If I was y'all, I'd be trying to grow my Instagram page, and YouTube
is a little more free. Like you get away with a lot more on YouTube than you can on Facebook.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. And there is some big YouTube guys out there that coon hunt, but man,
don't get me wrong, man. More hunters I don't know if y'all know this, and you can look it up. More hunters are on Instagram than there is Facebook posting wise, because it's a little more lenient.
So we kind of touched on this earlier. You own this property right here. I think this is a good topic to bring up. You know, Dustin, you said something earlier about making somebody sign a waiver or bringing a waiver to the landlord. I think that's a good idea. I don't know if I've ever even heard anybody say that. But
no, I've never heard anybody mention it.
And that's really good. So, I mean, you got to go sign a waiver to bring a guest on warehousing property, you know? So, I mean,
right.
But how would you want someone to approach you to coon hunt on your property, and what would you expect out of that person? You know, you two.
Because I want to make it kind of clear for me. This is not for everybody else. If somebody was to approach me to ask me, could they go coon hunting on my property? That will depend on what time of year it is. There's only two types of seasons I really hunt in. That's turkey season and deer season. And I'm not a big time turkey hunter, but I bring a lot of kids turkey hunting, and I want them to succeed at, you know, killing a turkey. But if you catch me out of season from any one of those seasons, just come to me and say, look, sir, bring me a paper with a waiver, kind of, you know. It ain't got to be to the T. But I think the waiver, because I know some guys that do this, not coon hunters, but deer hunters, right? That everything I do is not a liability to your property. I won't leave no trash. I won't tear the roads up, blah, 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 you know, et cetera. Just common sense type stuff. If you was to bring me a waiver, I think if you show me a piece of paper, say, look, do you mind me going coon hunting? As a, you know, like back in the day as a kid, fishing, like we talked about earlier, fishing in a pond. You used to go fishing in a pond back in the day, but it's not that way nowadays. And so with that waiver, it gives the person that owns the property a little more leniency to the people that's trying to go on to it.
Yeah, they feel a little bit safer.
Yeah, they feel more comfortable. They feel like they're not going to get sued if something, you crossing a creek to go over there to find the dog that treated the coon, right? Step in the creek, you know, 9 times out of 10, instead of it being 2 foot deep, it's 10 foot deep, you know? Or it might be you thinking it's 10 foot deep and it's 2 foot deep and you break your ankle, you know? The person that owns the property don't need to be liable for any circumstances.
Yeah.
You know? That's the way I feel about it. And I know some guys that got some pretty good waivers, and they hunt within the, you know, city limits, deer hunting wise. And so they get more property than you can imagine with just a waiver. Because the person that's signing the waiver, they're signing their property saying, you know, I'm bringing the paper to them, and it's saying that they're not liable for anything that happens. And once they read it, that lets you get some, like, free ability, you know? It's kind of like it's your own property. You're kind of doing what you want to do. As long as you don't tear the property up, don't rut it up. Not saying you can't take a side-by-side in there or a four-wheeler, trash and stuff like that. It helps you get more properties to hunt, you know? And listen, once that person signs that liability, guess what he's going to do? He's going to say, man, these coon hunters came over here the other night and they brought me a piece of paper and they wanted to know if they can coon hunt. Word of mouth is the best thing in the world, right? So he might tell his neighbor, man, y'all ought to let him go over there and kill some of them coons y'all got on y'all's place. But you're going to have to show them that y'all are really killing some coons. You know,
So
don't skip that out.
So Ricky, before I get to you, I want to ask Dustin another
Not
question.
saying you got to kill every coon, but at least show them you're killing some coons.
So, Dustin, all right, I'm gonna reverse it on you. Let's say I'm hunting.
Come on.
I'm hunting on property that butts up to yours. My dog's treed on yours. How would you want me to approach that situation? You know, because there's been a bunch of controversy about that. Coon hunters do have the right to retrieve, just like you were talking about in Missouri, what happened with you. You know, dogs don't know property lines, and you shouldn't hunt close to people. Yeah. We're not going to get into that, though. You shouldn't hunt close to people's property. But, you know, dogs don't know property lines, right? Even with GPS collars, they do get out of pocket sometimes. How would you want that person to approach you? That's a totally different animal right there. Let's say it's middle of deer season.
It is, but I've been in the situation already. I got a buddy of mine that owns he don't own it, but Weyerhaeuser owns 15,000 acres. He has the largest deer hunting lease in the state of Louisiana. We actually dropped a pack of dogs on a 500-acre piece, and 3 of the dogs went across the property line on a private lease, right? The guy from the private lease called and say, look, we got 3 of your dogs. 500 acres is humongous. You know what I'm saying? He called the guy that was across the property line that had the private lease, called my buddy, which is the president over the hunting club, and they all running GPS. They got screens and everything in their trucks, and they watching dogs, and they know when a deer is going to cross, stuff like that. Not every dog, just like you're saying, not every dog can you hold back, you know, because the collar is going to get out of range sooner or later. So this is where it gets technical. The guy that owns the land next to the 15,000-acre hunt lease, he should understand that the people with 15,000 acres can only do so much to keep their dogs off his property. If they come on his property one time, that's fine. I wouldn't have nothing to say about it. But if they come on my property about 5 to 10 times, then we got an issue. But 1 to 5 times, look, man, your dog's over here in my food plot, because I'll be hoping for the best when the dog comes through. You know? But I couldn't get so mad. I really couldn't, because you can only do so much with a collar, and they work tremendously well, and you know where they're at, and you can ask Ricky, my buddy Chris, like their place, they got TV screens in their truck, looks like a laptop computer. So they're watching their dogs as they're running, you know, like, and he's like, man, he's going to old boy's place.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, I'm going to get a phone call in a few minutes. 30 minutes later, here comes a phone call. But if it was me, I can be lenient for 5 times, you know.
Well, and deer dog hunting's a lot different than coon hunting, because you don't really have a means to an end.
A lot different than coon hunting. Yeah, deer dogs are running.
They just going to go.
They're nonstop. Coon hunting dogs are treeing.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
But if they get on your property, guess what?
If they were to run on my property, hey, I'm okay with it. Because guess what? Coon hunters hunt at night. But I'm not deer hunting at night.
Would you want that person to come approach you, or would you rather that person just go on ahead and go over there and get his dog? You know, I guess that's what I'm saying. How would you want somebody to handle that situation? Would you want to go get you out of bed, or just go on ahead, get your dog, get on out of there?
Okay, so I had to do this before. So not sure if everybody has OnX, right?
Yep.
To somebody that's listening. But I can guarantee you, if you look the property owner up and give him a call and say, look, man, my coon dog's treed over here, I think being down south and you're coon hunting, you should be A-okay. I promise you, even if you were on my property.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, or when. I respect you more about calling me than to just go get your dog.
Yeah.
That's just me, though.
Even though there is laws to protect it, I agree with you. I think that's the best thing to do. You know,
it is.
You have the right to retrieve your dog.
You go retrieve your dog on anybody's property without asking them, but it's the respect part.
It is.
Because you might talk to this guy. He might say, man, I wish you'd come over here and kill some of these damn coons too.
You know, you might gain a place to hunt. So, and Ricky.
Right.
So we'll go to Ricky now. I'm sorry for I just want to throw that question in there because I think that was kind of a different perspective of it. And Dustin, you did a great job with it. So Ricky, being that you're a coon hunter, how would you like someone to approach you?
You mean if somebody's dogs get on my place?
No, just how do you think? Dustin brought up a good point about the waiver.
You talking about somebody wanting to gain permission to hunt?
Yeah. I
think for me personally, which I'm probably a lot different than a lot of people because I know how coon hunting works, but me personally, if somebody wanted to come coon hunt my place right now, knowing that I got 20 coons at deer feeders every night, I would be like, look, you can come hunt, but I want to see you kill some coons, I mean, and that's kind of a sore subject in the coon hunting circle. But like I said earlier, there's an overabundance of coons in the South. There just is. Anybody that tries to say there's not, that they're not looking, or they don't know anybody that runs deer cameras.
Right. Cameras are the key.
Kind of like what Dustin said. You approach a landowner, say, look, I'm willing to sign a waiver. I'm going to do everything I can to stay on this property to hunt. I'm not going to try to cause your neighbors any problems. My dog gets somewhere else, I'll call whoever I got to call, go get them out of there. I'm not going to use your place to go hunt somebody else's place that I don't have permission on. Like common courtesy, like Dustin said.
It gets you a lot further, I think. I think it'll help you out in the long run.
I don't have this problem because I don't really hunt anywhere that butts up to anybody's private property. So,
right.
But if I did, and I was hunting a smaller block of land, I would probably go on ahead and go to that landowner ahead of time. The one on,
you could do that. That'd probably be better
and say, than
saying my dogs are on your property
at 3 o'clock in the morning. You could just say,
can I go retrieve them?
Yeah.
Well, that's a double-edged sword because if you approach somebody and say, hey, my dog may get over there, well, first thing that's going to pop in his head is, hey, he's planning on hunting my property.
Yeah, well, that's true too. You're right. That's true.
You're exactly right.
So, it's...
But coon hunting is a little different, huh, Ricky? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Now, if I said I wanted to go rabbit hunting because that's during the day, or pheasant hunting, blah blah blah, whatever hunting I want to do during the daylight, that would be different. Now, if he was a hunter, he might look at it a different way, as far as deer hunting wise during deer season. But he might look at it a different way too and say, man, you can hunt my property all you want to. And he might say, my neighbor might not be, as lenient as I am, but have a good time. Just, make sure you clean your mess up. And you might not even have to give him a waiver, He might just invite you on his own.
And invite him hunting with you. He might have coon hunt as a kid.
Come on here. Yeah, them old cats, they love sitting in the truck hearing them dogs bark.
Yeah.
Tyler, I gotta tell one little short story about retrieving a dog.
Tell it.
Since we're talking about that, so my same group of buddies that had that dog that liked the tree so much. he had a young dog. He had a young dog that we was fooling with one time, and the dog would always run with the coon dogs, but she never would tree. Like when the dogs would tree, she'd just come back to you. Like she didn't have much interest in treeing. So we turned all the dogs loose one night, and the good trained dogs, they peeled off to the right and treed a coon a couple 100 yards from the truck. And his young dog, she's missing, and we can't find her. So we shine the coon, go back to the truck and track her, and she's like 3 miles back to the east. So we get over there close to where she's at, and it's down this dead end gravel road. And I stepped out the truck. I said, Paul, that dog is locked down, treed, son. I said, she sounds like she's down in a creek or something, but she is treed. So he's like, man, she finally done treed one. So it's like, by this time, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And we ease down this dead end gravel road, and I can see a light back there. I said, dude, there's a house back there. I said, she's right behind that house. And she just spitting it out tree. We pulled over a couple 100 yards from the house, and I'm like, man, we probably ought to just leave and hope that she leaves and try to find her in the morning, So my buddy eases up there with his light off. That dog was up underneath them people's house, treeing a house cat at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm talking about she's rattling the windows. The house is off the ground, And how in the world them people didn't come outside, I will never know. But he slipped in there, crawled under them people's house, grabbed that dog, drug her out, and came back to the truck with her.
All right, so we done about shine this tree, but before we get off here, I've had a great time. I want to drive this point home. I'm gonna let Chance do it because he's a lot more in touch with what happens with the youth programs and everything with coon hunting. I know me and Dustin talked about this beforehand. So if you care anything about introducing the next generation to the outdoors, as I would say that we all do, can I agree on that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, y'all care about them growing up in the outdoors. And if you care about that, you should be 100% in support of coon hunting. And I'm going to let Chance explain why.
This is what I feel about it. It don't matter if we do anything for the youth or not. Anybody should support coon hunting. And just like me, I should support you guys. We're hunters, period. Don't matter. However we do it, what we chase, whatever, we have to support one another. If they attack one of us, they attack all of us. That's the way it's got to be. But in coon hunting, the registries do an excellent job. And I don't know of anything else that's a hound sport or outdoors type event or anything like that does as much for youth as coon hunting does. The different registries offer up thousands of dollars in grants. In scholarships every year for, placing your dog. And I know PKC gives out, it's several $1,000s for scholarships. UKC gives out several $1,000s for scholarships. There's youth events all over this country. The youth world, I don't even know what, there's just things all over for youth. That's what makes us a little bit different. I guess you could say it'd be kind of hard to do anything with deer hunting or turkey hunting or anything like that. But, this is competition.
I'll go ahead and piggyback off that. So, you don't have youth deer hunts. Certain clubs might have them, but youth coon hunts, anybody can come up there. Ricky, I invite you, Dustin, I invite y'all to bring y'all's kid to the youth hunt. They got the Mississippi UKC State Youth Hunt's going to be held on December 4th. And in those youth hunts, kids get exposed to the outdoors, and they have fun days for them, and it makes it fun for them. And, like Chance said, they give them scholarships. How many other outdoor events can a kid go and win a scholarship to go to school? Or can a kid just go and win $1,000? Yeah. That's one thing that I wanted to kind of drive home was what coon hunting does for the youth. And all the stuff.
Be so small and do so much.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And I know it's hard to do that with other things, but the youth programs within coon hunting are outstanding. They really are. They go above and beyond. Can't say enough about them. And I wish I had Mr. Eddie Simmons here.
Yes.
To articulate it.
That would be the person to have on to talk about the youth program he's so passionate about. But it amazes me. Well, coon hunters in general, it's not even the youth. And I want to say Parsons, Tennessee. I might be wrong. They have a big UKC hunt up there. Well, guess what they do? Every year they donate to St. Jude's. And this has been going on for years. It's well over $1 million that they have donated. Other hunting organizations can't really do that. Other, deer hunters, they might, turkey hunters. Well, you might donate to the National Wild Turkey Federation or your state federation or whatever, but not necessarily.
Yeah, it's not to the foundation.
Yeah.
It's not to the foundation of St. Jude.
Yeah.
It's going directly to the NWTF or, National Deer Association too, or the QDMA or stuff like that.
And people are always going to doubt whether they're doing anything in their area or any.
You'll kind of get caught up in, pretty much we all think the same, even though we're all the same hunters because we deer hunt, turkey hunt, blah, 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 coon hunt, or did in the past. We're all hunters at the end of the day. To get any youth involved in anything,
it's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
100%.
And like I say, I'm 35 years old. I don't know how old y'all are, but just me, I noticed so much. Y'all probably live more in the country than we do, and we actually live in some pretty good country. But life is so fast-paced nowadays, and people don't have time for the kids, or divorce rates are so high, with marriage. And either the mom has a kid or the dad has a kid. It ain't like it used to be, you know, when you was with your grandma and grandpa and your dad and mom, where everybody kind of stayed together, your cousins, you grew up with them. It's not like that nowadays. Not that I see. It may be different for y'all.
No, that's a nationwide thing.
One thing that I've noticed, you know, even though I've been out of the coon hunting game, I've kept up with it enough to see and realize that one thing has remained constant with all the associations, whether it's PKC, UKC, whatever, do a lot of hunts for the youth, you know, right. And there's always been an emphasis on the youth. And that's one thing that I can commend all those associations on. You know, that's something that they've never lost. And I think that's a great thing.
Kind of reminds you of Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the person that won the PKC Youth World Championship this year, he earned $6,000 in scholarships. The second place got $3,500 in scholarships and cash. Third place got $2,000 in cash and scholarships. And then fourth place got $1,500 in cash and scholarships. That was just for Youth World. Now,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, that is...
You also got a couple different amounts for the yearly leaders. I think like first and second place get $4,000, $2,000, something like that.
Yeah, and so
that's crazy.
The youth
to be so small do so much.
The PKC Youth World Championship paid out $22,700 in prizes.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's impressive, you know. And I know
it really is.
Even the local club down here at Red Creek, y'all probably pay out $5,000. You know, by the time you give all the prizes to the kids.
I have no earthly idea what we pay out, to be honest with you.
And
we, you know, each cast winner gets $100. If a kid wins their cast, they get $100. And that $100, what it does is automatically qualify them for the Youth World. So they can go straight to the Youth World. They don't have to worry about, you know, qualifying or, you know, running these hunts or anything like that. We give out grab bags. We have treeing contests, drag race, bench shows, squalling contests. And each one of those events gets a pretty good prize for it. We give away dog boxes. I mean, we try to make it
like that ain't cheap.
No. And what you got to think about this is we get support from our kennel clubs, but it's a lot of guys from around here doing this. I mean, that's who's forking over that money to get this and giving their time and energy and effort to make all this go on. And like I said earlier, you can't really do that in anything else. You know, maybe in the competition squirrel, you could possibly do it. But as far as deer hunting, turkey hunting, all you can do is get a youth involved. You know, there might not be.
Drag them along with you.
Yep.
Try to teach them as you go.
Yeah. And there shouldn't have to be an incentive for kids to get out into the country.
No, it shouldn't.
But it helps.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
You know, it does.
It does help.
Right.
Because nowadays, kids, man, they give out so many trophies nowadays that kids never really learn how to earn, you know, reap what they sow, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, we were fighting for one trophy. Now they fighting for a ring nowadays.
Yeah.
They didn't even have that back then.
No. And that was one point that I kind of wanted.
Don't get me wrong. There's kids that really work hard, and there's kids that are mediocre, and then there's kids that are trying to learn but don't have the athletic, you know, as far as like, there's some kids that just actually flat out don't want to hunt, you know?
All right. So I do appreciate having y'all on here, coming on, and anybody that, you know, listen to this, they need to go check out Between the Times podcast. It's awesome. I really enjoyed it. Ricky talks like we do, and Dustin talks like a coon ass. So. But, hey, it's all good. Hey, they cut up. When I tell you, people that listen to this probably like, dang, they're actually cutting up on the Coon Hunting University. It's always serious on there. We had a good time. We had some great discussion. Really did. Is there anything else y'all would like to add before we sign off?
Yeah, you want to guess what that dog's name was I told the first story about?
Peckerhead.
You close. His name was Teeter.
Teeter Tyler, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, man. I just want to say this before we get off here. I'm glad you invited us on here. something a little different, curveball for us. Glad to be a part of the Coon Hunting University. The guys ain't that far from us, so maybe we can go over there, or they can come over here.
Yeah, we definitely could do it again.
Yeah, get together. We are actually about to build a studio
awesome.
here shortly. So, and we got room and board. I think it all go hand in hand. We can all cut up. It's just like hunting camp.
Yeah.
So you gotta watch us. We will draw some cutting up out of people.
I see that.
I hear you. But I'd like to invite y'all to our youth hunt. It'll be here in Wiggins, March 4th and 5th. And that's
please text me and remind me that. We'll bring our podcast system. We'll get together.
Yeah.
Y'all can use y'all.
Well, that'd be great if y'all want to do something like that and record it.
So this is what we are looking for, right? We are going to Bear Creek Hunting Club eventually this year, and they just did youth
deer hunt.
Yeah. So when these kids get together and they kill a deer, right? We're gonna interview them, like tell us the hunt, how it went down, but it's not gonna be like too much detail, but it's gonna be into detail. We're gonna go through probably about 10 kids. I'm thinking it should be good. Short and sweet, maybe a couple hours.
And it would be awesome for y'all to come over.
Just come.
And help out with that and enjoy
doing stuff like that.
But that Saturday is a youth fun day. I think we start about 9:00, and it's all day events. And then we end up Saturday night with the PKC Youth State Championship hunt. So
that's awesome.
It's an all day thing, and like I said, we'd love to have y'all, and just. Our numbers have kind of went down a little bit because of all the COVID and all the restrictions and all that junk. But we got some things in the work. We hope's gonna kind of up that. We'd love to have y'all over there.
I mean, we really would.
Oh, we'd love to be a part.
My wife's gonna hate me.
Hey, you can
Ricky, bring your wife.
Bring that leopard dog you're gonna buy.
Hey, I got 3 females, 4 females over here, son.
Hey, it don't matter. Look, a buddy of mine's little girl.
I'm trying to stay as far away as I can.
A buddy of mine's little girl won last year and broke down in tears. She won her cast, and she didn't even know it. She didn't know what was going on. And she won her cast, and he told her, he said, "Look, you won." And she said, "What? I won?" Just started crying. I'm like, man. That's what it's about.
That's awesome.
Ricky,
that's exactly what it's about.
If you bring that boy of yours over there and he likes squirrel hunt, man, he starts seeing that treeing contest and everything, you might be in the coon hunting business, buddy.
Yeah, my wife ain't gonna like that. Cause if my boy starts hunting, that's gonna mean I'm hunting.
Yeah. That's a good outlet.
I got a son that's 15 months old. Guess what I want him doing? I want him chasing a squirrel dog.
Behind you.
I want him chasing a squirrel dog, a coon dog, something in the woods, and not making meth or any of the other stuff in the woods. Talking about hunting. I mean, that's right now, this day and age, that's the safest place for a kid. I don't care what's out there.
Man, look, you teach your kids to hunt, you don't have to hunt them.
Yep. I had a guy tell me one night, well, it was at a youth hunt, and he said, "Yeah, my kid's got a drug problem." And I said, "What's the deal?" I'm looking at his kid. I'm like, "This kid ain't old enough to take Tylenol." And he's like, "Yeah." He said, "I've drug him to every hunt I could." I said, "Well, I get it."
Yeah.
So, Ricky, what you got to say before we sign off here, buddy?
Oh man, I think what you're doing is a great thing. There's a lot of new podcasts starting, and when I came across yours, I was like, man, this is pretty awesome right here, because I seen anybody else doing a coon hunting podcast, and I just think you're going about it the right way. You're teaching, and the hunting story part of it had me hooked from the word go. Like I was like immediately drawn in because I'm a story guy. So I think what you're doing is awesome, man.
Well, I do appreciate that, Ricky. And it means a lot that someone like you, that's not a coon hunter or
not coon hunting
right now, found my podcast, and it really, it kind of shocked me because I didn't think anybody that didn't coon hunt listened to this. You know what I mean? Till you messaged me, and I was like, what? But man, I do, and I'm glad I found y'all's podcast. And like I said, it's Between the Tines, and I mean it'll be all over my Facebook page when we post this. So, but like I said, man, I do thank y'all for your time. I hope we shared some good stuff here. I really think we did.
I think it was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
From Between the Times Outdoor Podcast, we are out.
I really hope y'all enjoyed that interview as much as I did. If you like what you heard here, go on over to Facebook, give us a like at Coon Hunting U. Also, go to Apple Podcasts, leave us a rating and a review. It really helps us out. And remember, if you need a new hunting light, do not overlook Superior. They make an awesome light, best customer service in the business. Man, their walking light and double red is the brightest I've ever seen. Use coupon code CHU podcast at checkout at nighthunters.com. You can find the link in the description box below this. Coon Hunting University is a product of Audio Hound Productions. Until next time, y'all have a wonderful day.